Hi guys, this is Rico Bohren. I am Mr. Sakala's Dean of Students, and I am not a policy leader, but I've been involved with policy for many, many years under the guidance of Mr. Sakala and this district leadership. So I am going to try to help you, and I understand that there are a lot of you that cannot access interviews, and it's just kind of the unprecedented time that we're in right now. So hopefully some of my answers can help you put together something here. I also have all of your policy questions for assignment number 3 out to the assistant superintendent in White Bear Lake, who is a friend of ours, and she is going to be so kind to write some of what her experiences are with these few questions. And then I can get that back to Mr. Sakala, and he can definitely give that back to you. But I also want to apologize to Corey Robinson out there. Corey, I know that you emailed me on March 18th, and that is I did not get back to you. So Corey, I'm sorry. At least hopefully this makes up for that. So this is going to be really, really choppy, as I have just written down chicken scratch from my experience with this. But we'll just go with questions 1 and 2, and I'm going to kind of put these together. And I'll read them. What is the process used to develop or update policy in your district, and how are the constituents of the organization involved in the process? And here at Inver Grove Heights, and everything's really kind of under the cone here, but well, first off, I want to start off with the school board is our policy committee, and they meet monthly, and we're very lucky that they look at policy on a monthly basis. We're a small enough school district where we can do that. But then they are on a schedule of updating or developing policy every 3 years. And again, I don't know how it is in other districts, but I do know that at the school board level, and that's the governance part of school board, is they are our policy committee. And at the school level, at Simley's level, we have a high school, we have a middle school, and we have 3 elementary schools. They are very attentive to the administration in the building. And if we have any suggestions or anything at all, we've written proposals and kind of followed the hierarchy with that. And Mr. Sakala and our admin team, just recently wrote a proposal for, different things that we see in the school that need to be changed. So we bring that to the superintendent. Superintendent looks at that and says, yeah, we really need to address that. And then it goes to the policy committee for their kind of review, and then onto the board. And I know that some policies that have kind of changed because of an equity type of thing, namely our attendance policy is kind of new this year, and we also have a hats and hoods policy that we went and followed this type of process. So that's kind of the process, and everyone who's involved in the school board is very in tune with us and different administrations at the different buildings. Number 3, how often is policy evaluated, reviewed, and updated, and why? Again, this is an every 3-year cycle. Is that the kind of like your curriculum too. You're on a cycle every 6 to 7 years. Here for policy, we're on a 3-year cycle looking at that and so forth. Sometimes you might look in your policies, on your website and find out that they haven't been reviewed or updated since a long time ago. And that's something that we need to really be better at in education, is making sure, because we're in a time right now where we cannot operate with policies from the 80s or the early 90s or the late 90s. We need to have them looked at now. Okay. In other considerations, we have a school board that can come together quickly because we're so small. But if issues come up, like legal issues that we need to adhere to, like for instance, if Tinker came up, or TLO versus New Jersey came up today, that's something that we would have to meet quickly and come up with. I know that other things that have come up real quickly is grades and not being able to deduct points or deduct grades or take away grades for punitive measures. Grades are, by legislation, a property right, and they cannot be taken away. So we've written policies around that. But policy is reviewed and evaluated on a 3-year cycle for us. Again, what's unique about IGH's policies? I think, again, our board is very responsive to our administration at the school level. input is taken seriously, we can get on the school board agenda very, very easily and have our voices heard. And again, if you look at the districts like Anoka, Hennepin, you look at just big school districts. Minneapolis, St. Paul, that's not going to happen. So we're very blessed to have a small homey district like that. The last one, what is missing or inadequate about the organization's policies? I had to really think about that. I think that something that we can get better, maybe not inadequate, but something we can get better, is how we can get policies out to families. Because even administrators today, when we're in meetings today and we have to cite a policy, it takes a half hour for me to look it up. And if it takes a half hour for me to look it up, think about our families out in our communities that have no idea. We have many policies. We just need to know where to look. And I think that needs to be put out. Our policies are based on sections, so we have a numbering policy, we number all of our policies, and it's probably similar to your districts. And I'd urge you to go and look, for instance, the 500 policies, and there's usually about 50 policies in our numbers, in the 500s, excuse me, and that's our students, and then the 300s would be staff members and so forth. So if you haven't looked at your policy page on your website, that would be an interesting thing to do. But again, what we could actually improve on is how we can get out our policy knowledge to our community and our families. And I mentioned families, but more so community too, because it does take that community, school, and parent effort to educate. So, and this would be the part, I guess, where you guys would have additional questions for me, and I'm going to go ahead and give you my email. So that if you do have email questions, Corey, you know my email already, but it's going to be like Mr. Sakala's. It's going to be just my last name, Bohren, B as in boy, OHREN @csp.edu, just like yours. Go ahead and give me that, any questions at all, and I can go ahead and try to answer those. But hopefully that is something that you get you started. Again, I have Sarah Paul, who's assistant superintendent in White Bear Lake. She's going to have some answers by this Saturday, and I can forward them on to Mr. Sakala so you can have a couple viewpoints. And it's very hard today. I know Mr. Sakala is very flexible, so hopefully you do have some time to do this, and hopefully you're not too stressed out about it. And I hope your distance learning plans, whatever district you're in, are going very well. I know it's a tough time and we're all learning, but it's going to get better. Have a wonderful time. And I don't know where stop is. Thanks, Jerry.